And welcome back to the channel. So question 3 of 5, having warmed you up with two relatively straightforward questions, this is a real stinker, this one. I'm not going to say much else. Have a read. I believe it's a non-calculator paper, but to be honest, it doesn't make a difference. You should be able to do it without a calculator. It's not helpful anyway. I say pause the video, have a go, expect to get a little bit stuck. If you do get the answer, well done. Either way, come back and go through it with me once you've had a go. Talk to you all soon. Okay, so how have we done? These sorts of questions are difficult, and it's about being very careful to make sure you're going the right way and you're knowing what you're doing. So just a quick read through. So there are a total of Y counters in the box. There are X pink counters, 5 blue counters. The rest of the counters are green. So we've got 3 sorts of counters. Then it gives me a relationship between X and Y. And then it tells me that Frida takes 2 counters from the box. Now, straight away, this is quite important, because the reason this is important is because this tells me there is no replacement. This is a conditional probability question. Then it says find in terms of X the expression for the probability that Frida takes 2 counters of the same color, give you answer as a fraction. Now, the reason I'm noting that is because that says 2 things. First of all, we need to do a thing and a thing. So take a blue and a blue, or a pink and a pink. So it's notable that I'm going to need 3 different probabilities. And also your final answer is in terms of X only, not in terms of Y. So hopefully fairly early on, I can get rid of my Y's. So let's just start with the basics. So real straightforward. It tells me the question that I have X pink counters. Also tells me that I have 5 blue counters. So far, so good. Then it tells me the rest of the counters are green, but I don't know how many green counters there are. But what I do know is there's a total of Y counters in the box. So therefore my green must be Y minus the 5 that are blue minus the X that are pink. I also know from the ratio in the middle of the question that the ratio of X to Y is 1 to 3. So in other words, I must be able to say that Y is equal to 3 times X, because the X to Y is 1 to 3, Y must be 3 times bigger. And that means I can substitute that into the equation for green, or the expression for green, which tells me the amount of green counters is going to be 2x minus 5. Now, this is important because without doing this bit first, the rest of the question, it's doable, but it becomes much more difficult. I now have 3 expressions. I have a pink, I have a blue, and I have a green, which means I can start to work out some probabilities. So let's think about what I need to do. So I've put on the screen already, I'm going to need to work out the probability of pink and pink, the probability of blue and blue, and the probability of green and green. And this is going to be quite algebra heavy, so therefore I'm going to clear this off and go to the next page. So, okay, first step, probability of pink and pink. Well, that is going to be the X pink counters I have divided by the total amount of counters, which is Y, which is the same as 3X, multiplied by. Now, remember what I said, this is a conditional probability question. So I'm going to have 1 less pink to choose and 1 less counters overall to choose from, or 1 fewer counters to be more correct. So that I can say the probability of pink and pink is that times that, which is going to give me a total of X times X minus 1 over 3X minus 1. And I won't read it out each time. Now, green's slightly easier because you're dealing with actual numbers in the numerator. So green is going to be 5 times 4, and notably over the same denominator. And that's going to be very relevant in a minute. So I'm not going to mess around with the denominators. And actually, just to be clear, the temptation with pink and pink is to simplify that. But because I know my probability that I'm going to have to add together pink and blue and green, I don't want to start simplifying probability. So as a general case in probability, don't simplify until the end. So I've worked out probability of pink and pink, I've worked out probability of blue and blue, now I need the probability of green and green. You'll remember that green is 2x minus 5, so when I take one away, that's 2x minus 5 minus another one, which is minus 6. So that's going to give me this calculation here, which is going to give me this final term here. Now, I haven't got the mark scheme in front of me, but I would suggest to you that this would give you a good 2/3, if not 3/4 of the mark. So you've got a decent amount of marks if you've got this far. Now, remember, I want the probability of getting either one of these things. So therefore, I'm going to need to add together pink and pink, add together blue and blue, and add together green and green. And what makes this easier is I haven't cancelled down anything, so my denominators are the same. So I'm going to add these things together, and that's going to give me this expression here. Now, you'll notice I haven't tried to be clever. I haven't tried to do it in my head in one go. I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose that final mark for getting the incorrect answer. So I'm writing the whole thing out. Then I'm going to do a line of expanding. So I'm going to expand everything carefully. And then what I do, because I just like to make sure I don't make silly errors when I do an exam or do a practice exam, is you'll see me tick things off as I go. So as I add together my x squareds, I can tick those off. I add together my x's, and I should get to this final value down here. Is that in the format I need? I need the answer as a fraction, the form ax squared plus bx plus c over dx squared. I have indeed got that. So it doesn't say give a, b, c, d, and e. And actually, this should absolutely get you the right answer because it's an equivalent form. But should you need to know, a is 5, b is minus 23, c is 50, d is 9, and e is minus 3. A difficult but really good question. If you get your head around this one, you've worked out how to do some of the harder probability questions. Well done. Question 4 of 5 is coming next. Again, make sure you tried all 5. They're different questions that check different skills. Any comments, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Usual thing, like and subscribe. Let me know if the videos are working for you. That'd be great. And I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks all.